Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Tuesday, the beginning of February, just after my mom's birthday, actually. How does it get even better than that? It's been a very long time, um, like a very, very long time that I haven't just gone live. And I've come back and threatened y'all a couple of times. Um, Sometime in January last year. So it's been a really interesting last several months of my life. And how does it get any better than that? So, without further ado, I chose to begin choosing again. Um, and and this is something that I just wanted to speak about a little bit while I also invite you to a different possibility. But what I wanted to just mention is how often do we stop ourselves, like stop, create these obstacles, and just block everything from being joyful, fun, or exuberant for us because we're trying to get anything right. Or we're so determined that we're so wrong that we kind of lose the joy and the fun. And the whole point of creating, the whole point of living is for the joy and the fun. I mean, aren't we here for the joy of being? Aren't we here to actually relish living life as a celebration? And if it isn't that, which it has not been in my case for the last um, couple of years, something like that, then what can we choose different to change that? So yeah, there's been a lot of like topsy-turvies, and without going into the story, any of you guys who've followed me for any length of time know I love access consciousness and the mantra of access consciousness. I wonder if I have a thing that shows everything. The mantra of access is all of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. The invitation is to play with everything that shows up, everything, to actually include it, to be aware of it, to recognize that nothing that's out there is any bigger than us. We're infinite beings and we have infinite choice. Sometimes, I forget. I'm sure I'm not the only one who sometimes forgets. So when we forget, we go into trauma and drama. We go into resistance and reaction. We go into aligning and agreeing with, oh, goodness, there's been a lot in the world to align and agree with, but we don't have to. See, that's the gift. We have a choice. And what I love about the access consciousness tools is that, okay, shit's hitting the fan or things are going really interestingly, we've got a choice. We've got the ability to do something different. We just have that ability to choose if we're willing. And that's a key thing. That willingness is huge because there's a lot of us that are so aware, that are so in tune with what everybody else requires and everybody else desires, and what Gary Douglas, the founder of Access, and Dr. Dane here, the co-creator of Access, and Simone Milasas, who's like an amazing, amazing being, what they've spoken about over the last, I guess, month or so is how much are you creating your life from your psychic abilities with everything and everyone in the world itself. That's why you haven't seen me around here very much. I didn't have the words for it, didn't have the label for it, but how much are we creating our life as a resistance, a reaction, as an excitement about whatever it is that we're perceiving out there in the world? But the world, that's a little small on us. We're actually so highly aware. What if instead of just tuning into the trauma and the drama and the resistance and the reaction, we go, hey, I'm the infinite being here, and all of life comes to me, mantra of access, with ease and joy and glory. What if I reach my awareness out well beyond all of the trauma and drama and everything out there in the world? What everybody thinks, where everybody stops themselves, and I tap into the awareness, the psychic capacities with the universe. So I'm currently in Houston and I'm sitting on the driveway in my parents' place. And yeah, there is like abundance and free, in the universe itself. Nature doesn't try to get things right or perfect. Just look at a front yard and this grows here and that grows there. And sure, we can have, people coming in and saying, okay, let me weed this and let me cut that and let me trim this and let me get everything just all straightened out. And then we do so much control of everything versus when we're willing to actually experience and experiment and just contribute and receive and perceive and play. There's everything else that's available. So yes, I could keep stopping myself for every little tiny thing, as could you, and try to create your life from judgment, which everybody in the world, well, not everybody, because there's at least 3 people that I have named previously and can think of who are more than willing to expand their awareness out and receive the psychic abilities, the psychic capacities with the universe rather than just with, every Tom, Dick, or Harry that's walking around the planet. So they're willing to have that, right? There are people who are willing to have that. But more often than not, we go into judgment mode. And oh, if I don't get it right and perfect, if my video isn't exactly right, if the subtitles aren't exactly like this, if it doesn't engage with people at right the way that I think that it should, if I'm not following this linear construct that's so judgy and so strict, then I can't do it because I'm not doing it right. Well, what sort of bullcrap is that? When you stop yourself for all of those quote unquote good reasons, you forget to have fun. You lose you and the joy of being you from everything. And that joy, that curiosity is what allows you to experiment and to explore like a little kid does. A little kid, you give them a box of crayons and some paper or some watercolors, and there'll be things everywhere. It'll be chaos. There'll be lines. There'll be splotches. There'll be tears. There'll be polka dots. There'll be who knows what, and it most likely won't be in the lines. And then when you hand that older kid a box of crayons, they'll be trying to get the shading and the perspective and the everything exactly right so that they can get some sort of validation or celebration from the outside world, perhaps even from themselves. But where is the joy of their creation and their choice and their willingness to just play? So we just had a delivery from just before I went live, lady from Walmart. She, the truck drove by slowly past the house and, went off further. And then the lady came back carrying the box going, oh, I think this was for you. And I don't know, I was giggling inside or something, choked on my saliva and just coughed at the lady. But that's okay, because I just coughed and made some funny noises. And then once I caught my breath and was able to speak, I greeted her and said, hey, have a beautiful day. But it isn't wrong that I coughed or that I choked or anything like that. See, we tend to be so harsh on ourselves because we forget that we could just be and we could just explore and we could just allow ourselves to receive all of life and to be all of life coming with ease and joy and glory. We forget that. And we try to instead be right, good, perfect, and correct. Or the flip side, I've seen some of the teenagers nowadays with, I'm fuck your good kid thing. I'm going to go the other way and just prove how bad I really am. But what if you're not? What if you're not anything that you think you are? What if you allow yourself to be everything that you truly be? Beyond all of your stories, beyond all of your thinking, and beyond everything that you are aware of, and beautiful, brilliant, amazingly aware friends, you're aware of what's going on in other people's heads. So if you're willing to be out of control, out of definition, beyond all reference points, and beyond all of the rights and the wrongs that you have burdened yourself with, what would be available? So I would like to invite you to explore with me in the Space of Possibilities Facebook group, which hopefully you have a link to down below. I'll be going live there odd times, mostly every day. I'm going to say mostly. I'm going to attempt to go live there now just after this because my mother is asleep. My parents are elderly. Mom's got dementia and things are not always according to plan. Plus, if you look in the Space of Possibilities group, I started doing this before I traveled here and then left my computer glasses in the rental car when I was switching cars. So, since I didn't want you guys to look at the upside of my nose as I'm trying to look at the screen, I figured I'll just wait until I get my glasses again. And I got my glasses this morning, so how's it get even better? So I'm here. If you'd like to join me in the Space of Possibilities Facebook group, I will, like I said, at random times go in with random invitations to being out of control. We'll be doing what's called a 30 by 30, except I'm a little chaotic, so it may not look exactly like a 30 by 30. There may be times where we go longer on the clearings, where we might toss in a couple of other languages. We'll be doing the mantra of access. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. And actually, one of my very favorite tools in Access is also called the crazy phrase, which is this one. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. And we'll repeat that, sort of opening and closing the clearings that we're doing. So if you would like to join me there, if you would like to actually, do what I did, get head out of ass and allow yourself to explore and to play and to enjoy, then yeah, you're invited. And how does it get any better? And periodically, I'll just go in with musings here because, one of the things, and I had mentioned this in the Space of Possibilities group when I went in live in there, it was, yeah, yummy, lots of stuff. So one of the things that the Rebbe would say, the Lubavitch Rebbe, and I'm not religious, both my brothers are, so I've learned all sorts of interesting things. And one of the things that he would say is, if you know Aleph, teach Aleph. In other words, if you know even one thing, whatever it is, he said teach. But for me, it isn't about teaching, it's facilitating. My favorite way of saying facilitator is silly, because I'm Silber, silly bear, facilitating, lightening up things, lightening up life, lightening up everything that we get to choose. We don't have to take life so seriously, because if we do, it will get us down. We get to play. We get to instill some chaos. We get to allow ourselves to explore and to enjoy and to, let gardeners and their trucks. I don't know if you could hear that. That was loud as fuck. But that's part of lifing. And the more we allow, the more we can enjoy, we can receive, we can relish, and we can contribute. So for the last, like I said, couple of years, it's been a little tough. It's been rather strange, and strange can be a really chaotic, beautiful place to begin from. It's a launch pad for everything you get to choose. So if you were willing to be led by consciousness, and if you were willing to let go of control and maybe even instill a little bit of chaos in there, how much fun could you have creating? So how's it get any better than that? And hope to see you there and see you here in the future. And thank you for having patience with me over the last couple of years, and whatever little bits and drips and draps that I've been putting in, very little, or mostly posting stories. But what else is possible and how does it get better? And thank you.